To anyone tuned in, this is the Men, Church, Stuff podcast. It's the show where brothers-in-law DJ Culp and Brad Coleman talk about what it's like being Christian men in today's society. Having spent our entire lives immersed in church culture, we want to share our experiences with other men who are willing to listen. We'll talk life stuff, church stuff, man stuff, and, well, stuff. Let's get to it. Greetings, listeners here and there and everywhere, all across the land. This is the Men Church Stuff podcast, as at least we think it is, because Brad and I have not done this for a couple weeks. Brad, this is the podcast, right?
Yeah. You know,
I was thinking so. Yeah, right.
I think it was a blessing to everyone else, all the listeners and you.
That's right.
We were not doing the podcast,
Right.
at least for this past week and a half.
Right.
Especially the one day that we were like, okay, we're going to record it. And then I was just had a really anxious evening. And so that wouldn't be good for us. And then the next day we're like, okay, we'll do it the next day. And I was just grumpy.
Yeah.
And nobody has time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. That's right.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't a fun out of my brain when we had to do that right after the surgery as I came out,
Yeah. So listeners, public service announcement that the last time that you heard Brad and I speak, Brad did have some hernias, and now he does not.
Right.
So
patched me up.
They patched him up. Yeah. So it is a blessing, I suppose, that Brad and I, we were able to kind of keep in contact here and there, but it's probably more of a blessing that you guys didn't have to listen to us, banter back and forth. So real quick, I do want to say this at the front part of the episode here, Brad, that in the last month, just kind of here and there, I've gotten very unexpected thank yous and compliments to the show.
Awesome.
And so listeners, we really appreciate any and all feedback, specifically the feedback that is positive, but we are seriously, I don't really know how to say that we are humbled without it making it sound like, well, because you said it, so you must not be. But I mean, we really are.
Yeah.
we really are humbled that there are listeners out there that not only like the show, but that there's stuff that Brad and I, as we share our hearts with this and that that impacts you. And so it really is our great pleasure. So as promised several episodes ago, I mentioned that Brad and I were going to talk about our personalities that a standardized test tells us about. Now, I do need to make this, if you have ever had a personality test, if you've ever taken one, at least if it's been recent, you'll probably remember answering some questions thinking, it depends. Like I recently took one, Brad, for my work. Listeners, if you're new to the show, I teach at a small Christian institution, higher education, 4-year university in Jackson, Tennessee. And we took the DISC inventory. Brad, have you ever heard of the DISC?
I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Sure. So there's 4 quadrants: dominant, influencing, something, and compliant. I can't remember what the S is, but I remember the very first question right out of the gate is this: do you like to fight? And I caught myself thinking,
no.
Okay, well, no, but I don't fight, like physically fight, no, verbally fight, and argue, yes, of course, it is a sport. And
I like to debate.
I like to debate,
but I like to spar. I like to not fight, spar.
Well, but here's the thing. I didn't know what that meant. And that was a question. Yeah. Do you like to fight? So again, listener, if you've ever had a personality test here in the recent past, you will have remembered. I expect that you remember thinking, I don't really know how to answer this question. If you've never had a personality test, First of all, go find them. They're really fun. The Enneagram that we're going to talk about today, it's free. And there's a lot of questions, so you do have to kind of sit down for a minute, and and try to be honest as best as you can with yourself. But you don't need to take a lot of stock in what a standardized test says
Right.
about you. Like
An assessment is
yeah,
is usually just that. It's a tool
it's a tool.
to
Yeah,
assess something,
right.
but no assessment is perfect. I
That's
took a
correct.
whole class in college when I studied education
Uh-huh.
on
That's
just
right.
tests,
Yep.
on assessments. That
On
was the whole
assessment.
class. And one of the things that he like so ingrained in our mind was no assessment is perfect. Like they all have flaws and they're all have problems. And
Right.
so you got to take them for what they
And
are.
listeners, if you're regulars of the show, you will remember that Brad took an assessment and we found out that he wasn't even a
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah,
So
we're still trying to get me saved.
yeah, right. So maybe one day we'll get him, Brad.
Yeah.
Come on, listeners, keep pushing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Brad, let me ask you this. Let's do this. Let's let's talk about what our numbers are that the Enneagram said, or
Mhm.
the Enneagram told us, and then I'm really curious to know if we agree with each other's result.
Okay.
Now, um, I want you to go first because I remember you telling me over text that you took it twice,
Yeah, so I didn't so
which means listeners that
I
he
wasn't
cheated. So
crazy
everything
about
that
the
he has to
way
say,
I wasn't crazy about the way that it was some of the things were phrased.
right?
Um I didn't yeah, so I took it I took it again and adjusted some of my answers. But much to my chagrin,
You got
came
the
to the
same answer
same
too.
number. Uh so
Okay,
apparently I am a 4.
you're a
Uh,
four. Yeah, like
I
what's a four? Do you have it
I would
pulled
say
up?
the first time that I took the test, and really the second time too, I guess two didn't change much. I was a close two was a close second.
Okay,
So, but both are in, as I understand, the emotional arc
okay,
of the Enneagram.
yeah.
So,
Well, let's do
yeah,
the.
I would prefer to be a 2 than a 4, and would make some argument maybe that in a lot of ways I am more of a 2. But then the more I argued that reading a 4, I went, oh, that's exactly what a 4 would say.
Dang it, you must be right.
Yeah, so I'm like,
All right,
I'm
well
just
let's
gonna
let's
quit
let's
while
do
I'm ahead.
this. So listeners, and it's really a complex test. I think it's really dorky and nerdy and it's fun,
Mhm.
but there are 9 different personality types, and let's just go through them real quick. And then Brad, we can talk about yours. So number one is the reformer. Number two, the helper. Number three, the achiever. Number four is the individualist. Brad, you said that you got that
Yeah, I
twice.
got 4 twice. Yeah, yeah.
Number five is the investigator. Number six is the loyalist. Number seven is the enthusiast. Number eight is the challenger, and number nine is the peacemaker. So, Brad, you said that you got the individualist twice, and what was the close second?
2.
Two. So the
Yeah,
helper, dude.
helper.
Oh yeah. Like what's interesting is that if I didn't read through hardly any of them just because
Mhm.
there's 9 of them. But looking through that, I totally would have guessed you to be a helper.
Yeah.
So what is like? What are some like personality characteristics of the individualist then?
All right. So I'm reading off of theirs because I pulled up the kind of their but Enneagram type 4 in brief.
Mm-hmm.
Fours are self-aware, sensitive, and reserved. They are emotionally honest, creative, and personal, but can also be moody and self-conscious, withholding themselves from others due to feeling vulnerable and defective. They can also feel disdainful and exempt from ordinary ways of living. They typically have problems with melancholy, which we would interpret as depression,
Depression, sure, yeah,
which I do have diagnosed.
yeah.
Self-indulgence, self-pity. At their best, they're inspired and highly creative. They're able to renew themselves and transform their experiences. So,
I mean, dude,
basic,
like
yeah,
that's a lot of boxes
I
checked, man.
I know.
And
I
especially,
I think I think one of the things that bothered me
uh
was in the deeper overview.
right,
Um, one of the things that it was saying was that fours typically look for or wait for someone to come rescue them. And I found that offensive. I was like, I don't wait for somebody to rescue me. I don't want somebody to rescue me.
Sure.
And then, I mean, but then again, there's Jesus. So I mean,
I
like,
mean,
if Jesus is that,
right,
if Jesus is that, then I fully accept I'm a four. Okay.
That's right.
But I'm typically, and I guess for me, I was like, I don't wait, in a situation. You lock me in a room that
Yeah, you're not
you
just gonna
kidnap me
sit
and
and
lock
curl
me
up.
in a room.
No,
I'm not sitting
not
there waiting
Brad.
for somebody to come
No,
get me.
no.
I will.
Brad will absolutely become the what's the guy in X-Men, the one that just bursts through walls. Like, yeah, that's you.
Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Juggernaut. Yeah.
Juggernaut. That's who you would be. If I locked you in a room and like had a maniacal laugh walking away, you would absolutely find a way out, which includes
Yeah.
like busting a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and so I saw this movie. I was watching the movie the other day. It's called Red. It's a pretty good little movie. Like it.
I've seen that here recently. What's it
Yeah.
about?
So he's like a former like FBI agent, but Red is retired, extremely dangerous. Well, like when you're marked red, they're gonna just assassinate you.
Oh wow.
They're gonna take you out, or at
Uh-huh.
least like give them a reason that they will. And so they marked him red, and so like he's got to basically just keep from getting killed, and him and this other guys. But it's a really good movie. Um, they made a second one. It's actually pretty good too. Red 2.
Red 2. Who's the main
Uh,
character? Because like whenever you said him and a couple other guys, I was like, well, it clearly can't be Denzel.
yeah. So let me say, one of my favorite. He's not the main character, but one of my favorite is John Malkovich. He's
Oh
one of the
yeah.
characters.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's like he's one of the main characters. Um, but any movie again, Bruce Willis
Oh,
is the main
cool.
character.
Okay.
Morgan Freeman is in the movie. He has a smaller part, but he's decent.
Yeah.
And some other Ernest Borgnine is in there a little bit.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I haven't seen his name
yeah.
in a long
So I
time.
mean, it's worth a watch.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's PG-13. It's not too not
Right.
too bad on the language. People do die.
Right.
There's explosions and stuff. If you're into that, red. But anyway, I
Yeah.
bring all that up to say
Yeah.
like
Sorry, squirrel.
they're breaking in to like this really secure facility.
Uh-huh.
And the lady looks at him and goes, so how did you get the code? And he said, I didn't. They change it every 6 hours. It's impossible to get. She's like, well, how are we going to get in? And he like punches through the drywall beside the door and
Yeah.
reaches through and opens it from the other side.
Yes.
And I was like, see, that's me.
Yes, it is. Dude, it's
So
so you.
so when the
It's so
test
you.
is like, oh, waits for somebody to rescue, my interpretation is like, no,
No.
I'm
Yeah.
the guy that has everybody tied up by the time you get there to rescue me.
That's right. Brad is not the one who's falling into the fetal position, sucking his thumb.
You're
No.
trapped in here with me. No. You're
Yeah,
trapped in here with me.
with me. That's right. Yeah.
And I got nothing to lose because I figure you're going to kill me. So
That's right. Yeah. So when I start banging on the wall and break my hands, I'm going to pick you up and start using your head. I mean, like, we are going to get out.
but again, I was also still, on the pain medicine. And so I think part of that made me a little emotional and defensive. And so it was like, yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about this today. Again, this is probably the first time I've read back through the description, like clear-headed. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably a 4.
I can imagine, Brad. You start to get emotional and like start to ugly cry talking about busting through a piece of drywall.
Yeah.
All he wanted to do was save his friends.
But basic desire to find themselves and their significance, which I'm like, okay, yeah. I didn't understand, and I tried. And again, I was not super clear headed, and so I guess we can't really talk about this because there's like a 3-wing and a 5-wing, and I
Right.
was like, I don't even understand what that means. So I didn't go any farther.
Yeah, whenever I told Shara about the Enneagram, I didn't look into what the wings really were. The wings are whichever like adjacent number is bigger, that's what your wing is.
Hmm.
And to be quite honest, like with mine, I didn't agree at all.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I love about this thing is I don't care what the test says, it's
Yeah.
me, so I can completely disagree with that part of it.
Well,
So
and this, yeah, well, and this is why I wanted to be a 2,
yeah,
right? Because, and I relate it. 2s are empathetic, sincere, warm-hearted, friendly, generous, self-sacrificing, also sentimental, flattering, people-pleasing, well-meaning and driven to be close to others, but can slip into doing things for others in order to be needed. And really, I mean, your sister's a 2, I would say. She hasn't taken the test, but I was like, I'm reading that, and she's like, to her, and I was like, doesn't it sound more like me? She was like, well, it sounds like me. Of course, I didn't handle that well either because I
no,
was
you
emotional. I was like,
didn't.
we're not talking
That's-
about you right now. We're talking about me.
Stop it. Stop.
Listen, I
The
am not
minute-
a fun person to be around when I am on pain meds.
Yeah,
I feel like I did pretty good. Like, and I was on low doses of stuff. It wasn't super high.
oh, that's
There's a
funny.
whole list of medications I can't take because it makes me like extremely emotional,
Yeah.
like a teenage girl during a certain time.
A certain
And yeah,
time.
and I just
What time, Brad? Is it like September? Is that what time
yeah,
you're
like
talking
3
about?
o'clock on a Monday. Yeah, it's but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so probably a
Well,
solid 4
yeah, I mean,
with some
seriously,
2 attributes.
right, if you were, if with you reading that down, I was thinking, I mean, yeah, of course, absolutely, yes, 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 and to be quite honest, um, mine, I'm an Enneagram type 3. I'm an achiever, and
Achiever.
like I don't know, I hate that, I
Did you
hate the
pull up
I did.
the 3? All right, so
Yeah, so
let's
it
hear
says in
the
brief, 3s are self-assured, attractive, and charming. I can personally tell you that I completely and utterly disagree with at least 2 of those. But whatever.
we'll let
Ambitious.
you guess which
That's
2.
right. It's why this is a podcast and not a video. Ambitious, competent, and energetic, they can also be status conscious and highly driven for advancement. They are diplomatic and poised, but can also be overly concerned with their image and what others think of them.
Hmm.
They typically have problems with workaholism and competitiveness.
Hmm.
At their best, self-accepting, authentic, everything they seem to be, role models who inspire others. Basic fear is of being worthless.
Hmm.
True. Basic desire is to feel valuable and worthwhile. I can't even begin to agree with that more. Enneagram 3 with a 2-wing is the charmer. Enneagram 3 with a 4-wing is the professional. And I don't remember what mine was. But key motivations is that I want to be affirmed, to distinguish themselves or myself from others, to have attention, to be admired, and to impress others.
Hmm.
And like the reason I don't like that is because it sounds extremely self-absorbed. Like, and if I am, then maybe I'm closet self-absorbed. Like, you know,
Well, I think maybe
I
you are
need to be
getting hung up on a little thing like I was.
yeah, right. I need to be
But when I
better at
read the
being a
rest of it, it's
human.
like, okay, yeah, I got to own all of this.
That's right. Yeah,
But I don't need nobody to come rescue me.
that's true. Yeah, I'm definitely
Um,
not attractive. Ain't nobody got time for that on this end of the microphone, anyways.
I think you have a very attractive personality.
I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So,
have a nice, you're a
dude,
nice person. You have a nice personality, DJ.
this okay. Have I ever told you this? This was the worst compliment I've ever received in my life. That in high school, I was crushing on this girl, Jessica, and listeners, specifically those that are guys, if you ask a stupid question to a girl and she gives you an honest answer, you deserved it.
Hey, you know what? I got a friend, Angelo. Shout out to Angelo.
Yeah.
He says, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes."
That's exactly right. Well, I played a stupid game, and my game was this. I asked her, "Do you think I'm cute?" And her response was, "Yes, but your personality makes you cuter."
Sound like a win to me, DJ. Okay,
Yeah,
pick you up on Friday.
right. Yeah.
Or is that like friend zone level 12?
So, I would say,
You're so cute. I'm not
yeah,
looking for cute though.
yeah, right.
I love to go hunting.
I like it.
I shoot
That's
cute things.
yeah, right. So, but like I think for me, at their best, self-accepting, authentic, and everything they seem to be.
Mhm.
I mean, I really try to, and I'll say it this way: rather than me try to say anything about myself, I have had people tell me in the past that the person that I am in the classroom is the
Mhm.
person that I am
Mhm.
everywhere else. Like my personality doesn't change. One of the things that annoys me the most about like pastors who kind of changed their persona when they get behind the pulpit, like like, so just to be super stereotypical here, that if you're attending a church and you meet the pastor and he's shaking your hand, you guys are kind of cutting it up, and just as super fun loving guy, and he walks up on stage, he gets behind the pulpit, and all of a sudden he's yelling and he's pounding, and I'm like, dude, you don't talk like that. Like, I just met you. Like, who are you? What's going on right now? That like I pride myself in at least trying to be the exact same person everywhere.
Yeah.
Um,
Which I think again is what we should seek to be. That's one of the, again, if we're talking about my dad, I think for me that was one of the most powerful things about my dad
mm,
was that he was the same guy. If it was wrong, it was wrong. If it was right, it was right. Now, I mean, obviously there's circumstantial stuff where there's things you don't do here, there's things you don't do at Walmart that you can do at home,
right.
but I mean, he was consistent with his character, and I think it's huge. So, but back to you.
Yeah, right.
So,
So as you're listening to
matured,
that, I mean,
attractive, charming. All right. So when you look at, charming, it says polite, friendly, and likable. I would agree with at least two of those.
that's right. But it's, I'll leave it up to you to decide which of those two.
That's right.
I go no further. Right?
Which two? Ambitious. I think you are. You're definitely, competent. I mean, energetic. Sure. I mean, like for me, like when I think energetic, to describe a person, I think like the boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom,
right.
which is probably not what they're saying.
So I did not necessarily consider myself as someone with high energy, because
Mhm.
I think of somebody with
Yeah,
somebody with
not
high
somebody like
energy.
me, somebody like
Yeah,
me that
right.
has
Yeah.
super high
Dude,
energy.
I mean,
I mean,
like,
like we're just
you are
just so charged.
you're so chill. Like, I love just how, yeah, man. Like, well, Brad just said, yeah, man. The day is great, everybody. Did you catch that?
But
Everybody
I mean,
buckle your seatbelts.
you have to understand too, though, how I didn't understand that about myself for the longest time.
Until you met
And-
my family,
right.
right?
Well, and my wife will attest, and she's agreed with me several times on this, that I am the most expressive of my immediate family.
That's insane. I
So
mean,
for me, I was the wild card in that sense, like, my brother's
the
a little
wild card,
like he's a
right?
little overly emotional. I mean, I love my brother and because he's an amazing guy, but like a lot of times he has the emotions of a rock. I mean, not deep down. I mean, but I mean like what he's expressing,
Right.
and so Yeah, I was the most expressive, so I felt like I was like over the top. Yeah, and
So
then I met your family.
yeah,
I
and then
met
you met
your
my yeah, right. Yeah.
sister.
Yeah,
Like,
my family's like
do you know the first time that I came to your
adrenaline.
house, your parents' house? First time I met your mom.
Oh
Very
gosh.
first time I met your mom. Your sister was concerned because, sometimes your mom can be a little not as peppy. So she pulled some bubbles from like the
Oh
top of the
gosh.
refrigerator. So my very first encounter with your mother is my
Is
wife,
a
who
2-year-old.
wasn't
Yeah.
my wife, blowing bubbles, and your mother, who's kind of a serious lady, going, "Ooh, bubbles."
Yeah, right.
And I mean, I think your sister was like mission accomplished. All
Mission
right, now
accomplished. That's right. Yeah.
you can see the other side.
Yeah. Okay.
And I
So
love your mom,
I
but
don't know if I've shared this on the show or not. But the very first time once Sharon, so listeners, just like super quick story here. Sharon and I, we dated back in college, then we broke up, and then we got back together. A couple years later. Once we got back together, and I knew that it was going to stick. I knew that she was the one for me. Um, we were we visited mom and dad. They were camping, and I don't know if I've shared this on the show or not, but listeners, that right there is my mom to a T, 100%. I mean, she is a child when you pull out bubbles or things that are cute. She
yeah,
like her calling was elementary school. I mean,
yeah,
it's so perfect. Anyways, my dad. So we're visiting mom and dad at the campsite. Mom cooked. We're just kind of reclining at the table right before we play a game of spades. And we're just kind of we're shooting the breeze, we're laughing. And dad says right there in front of Shara, he points his finger at me and said, DJ, pull my finger.
yeah.
Which I mean, like I knew I like this is normal behavior. But
Mhm.
right in front of Shara, and I was like, I can't, I was thinking to myself, I can't do this in front of Shara, in front of my girlfriend, because I don't know. No, dad, no, I'm not gonna do this. No, DJ, pull my finger. Come on, dad, I'm not gonna do this. So dad says, okay, I'll pull
I'll
my
pull it
finger.
myself.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
so he pulled his finger and he farted right there. And I was like, and welcome. This is
Yep,
my
that's
family.
it.
Here we are. Yeah.
Wait till you meet Brad. No,
Yeah. Yeah, right.
he's so expressive.
He's so expressive. So, my second strongest Enneagram was like I was a type 3, and nearly even I was my second one was a type 8, and which is the challenger. Um the powerful dominating type. I I have argument with the word dominating, but self-confident, decisive, willful, and confrontational. That's true.
Yeah, yeah. You
I
definitely are the more confrontational. Like when I think
love it.
like
It's so
I
much
hate
fun.
confrontation. I don't
Oh
like
no,
it.
bring it on, man.
I do it when I have to.
Yeah,
That's what I say. I like to spar. Like if we're gonna have a
right.
debate and it's a
Yep.
friendly debate, ooh, man, I can do that all day long. I love it. It's an
Right.
exercise in intellect. But
Well,
like if you're gonna like get angry and start hating me,
well, I think the one of the key characteristics of the achiever that isn't, if I remember right, yeah, it's not in the type 8. The what is it? What did I say it was? The challenger is the word diplomatic. I consider myself in a group setting to be quite diplomatic. I do not have the personality where it is my way or the highway. That's not the way I roll most of the time. So but yeah, so Brad, here's Enneagram type 8 in brief. Eights are self-confident, strong, and assertive, protective, resourceful, straight-talking, and decisive, but can also be egocentric and domineering.
mm,
Eights feel they must control their environment, especially people, sometimes becoming confrontational and intimidating. Eights typically have problems with their tempers and with allowing themselves to be vulnerable.
mm,
Both of those are true. At their best, self-mastering, they use their strength to improve others' lives, becoming heroic, magnanimous, and inspiring. Basic fear is of being harmed, not necessarily. or controlled by others. True statement right there. Basic desires to protect themselves, to be in control of their own life and destiny. I would probably give that about 50% for me. Key motivations: want to be self-reliant, to prove their strength and resist weakness, to be important in their world, to dominate the environment, and to stay in control of their situations. So, like, I think I think there's definitely a lot of boxes that are checkable. Self-confident, strong, and assertive. Do I have a strong personality? I think so, but I'm not a dominant personality. I love, as long as I feel that I can trust, not just like in terms of confidentiality, but if I can trust the people that I'm around, I want other people's personalities to shine like mine does. And I don't really read into that with a type 8. Which is why I said, like, the word dominant is not my main personality type. So but yeah, becoming confrontational and intimidating. This goes back to, some of our initial conversation here, Brad, that, like, confrontational and intimidating, can I be? Absolutely I can. But I have to kind of like tap into that if the situation requires it. So I refuse to be intimidating to my wife. Like and I don't want I certainly don't want this to become a marriage discussion, but like, listeners, spouses, don't be intimidating to your spouse, because to me the word intimidate insinuates, like, Brad, what's a good word that I'm trying to think of here? Like, it's like degrading, right? It's degrading.
Well, I think because I think you're thinking too more in terms of, like, when you think intimidating, like aggressive and
aggressively.
aggression.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
And I think really that's the word that they mean, because in the context of the sentence it says 8s feel they must control their environment, especially people, sometimes becoming confrontational and intimidating. Now, I also would say this, that if you are a non-confrontational person, anybody who becomes confrontational, not necessarily aggressively so, but if it's a confrontation of, let's talk about some stuff you don't want to talk about, that in itself is intimidating, which has nothing to do with aggression. So this goes back to, again, our personality, like
what's fun? What's fun for me though? It's like, it's helpful for me is when you have my face and my expressions, right?
Yeah.
I'm not confrontational. Now, I say that because I don't like confrontation. I can have confrontation.
Right.
I don't. I try to avoid it when I can, but when I can't, I can do it. But one of the things that I've learned is when you have my face, like, apparently I come off as more intimidating. I remember picking up some stuff that I bought off Facebook Marketplace, and I was probably a little more like with my shoulders back, because when I arrived, I realized I was not in the best part of town,
Yeah.
kind of a suburb of St. Louis. I was like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't even know if I'm like. Thankfully, the guy brought the stuff outside, because I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna walk in his house.
Right. Yeah.
But I just kind of got up, so I was probably shoulders back a little more and showing a little more of that.
Just
But I was
assertive.
just,
Yeah.
he was just buying these totes, for the business, and I'm like, okay, and I'm looking at them, and, like, automatically, like, I hadn't even said anything. I said nothing,
Yeah.
and like, oh, all right, I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, okay, looks pretty good. He's like, well, I know that one right there is a little bit broken, so I'm just going to throw that one in for nothing. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, they're a little dirty. So, I mean, I'll just take, he like stepped himself down on the price. Like, I'm getting ready to just hand him like the money that we agreed on. Cause like, I knew they were used totes, and the way that the one was broken wasn't really, it was just like, it's chipped on the side. I don't care. I'm going to use it for storage.
Yeah.
It's not
He just didn't want you to eat him.
But
Like,
yeah, but I'm just like standing here, and the guy's just
please
like,
don't kill me. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
mean, I
sorry
think
for
I probably could have
existing.
been like, I think these are only worth about $10 altogether. And he'd been like, you
That's
know what? Let me just
you,
load them for you.
you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. They are only worth
Here,
$10. I'm
well,
so sorry.
I've only got a 5. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
but
sorry
yeah,
for
I'm a
overpricing
teddy
them.
bear. Like I'm super nice.
All right,
I mean,
so
I feel like I am.
Brad,
Like
you have
I'm very caring. Uh,
you have a larger physique.
yeah.
And when I say physique, like you're a broad guy, right? I mean, you have a naturally larger build than me. So
It's what my name means. Like, Bradley means broad meadow.
Broad Meadow.
Broad meadow.
Oh, that's dude,
So I'm very broad.
that's very poetic of you. It's
Not
very
a broad, but I'm broad.
but what I think I hear you saying is I need to grow up my beard as long as yours and shave my head.
Yeah.
Because then I
And
can
people will just give you discounts.
then, yeah, people just give you discounts, right?
If you just shut up. So
I
you
can't
let
do that.
them,
That's right.
yeah,
That's one of
you
the
just
issues of
gotta
being
let
the
them
achiever, right?
do the talking. Because I think people automatically, especially those who don't know me, assume that I'm a little bit angry
That's right.
or upset.
Brad just came from something very depressing and he hates the world right now. No,
And
no, it's just
yeah,
it's
and I
Brad,
mean,
there he is.
like again, if we're honest, in that situation, I was a little bit like, again, I'm like, why did I come here?
That's
I'm
right.
not really super familiar with which areas are good or bad. At this point, it's a couple of years back. And I'm like, yeah, this is definitely probably not a place I'm going to come back and
Oh,
just
that's
pick up
hilarious.
something. It's not that good of a deal. Uh, and I just,
Oh no, it was a good deal. I should come back here more often. That's right.
so I mean, I'm not going to say that I was scared, but I mean, again, there was a, like, what am I getting myself into
And
kind of
dude,
deal. But
you know that the
But
seller,
instead
when
of
he
looking
saw you, was
scared,
also thinking, I don't know what I just got myself into.
and he was a smaller guy than me, in fairness, and did not have as big of a beard.
That's funny.
So yeah,
So that's my Enneagram, and the Enneagram. I actually took that test. Number one, because I've been really curious about it for quite a while. But number two, Sharon took it for her job, and I can't remember which one, like what her number was, but it really was her to a T.
Mhm.
But as I mentioned for my job, and I know that you haven't taken this, Brad, but for my job, we recently took the disc inventory,
Mhm.
and uh, one of the things. Let me pull this up here real quick. I wanted to read you a synopsis of um, what my readout was, because I mean, it really was absolutely me, more so than I think the Enneagram was. Let me get here. Tori. Here it is. DJ, as an assessor style, is a person who can be very outgoing when in comfortable social settings while still displaying an analytical and cautious nature until the social environment is evaluated. So my disc personality readout is a combination IC, which is influencer
I see
and
too.
yeah, I do see
This guy gave
influencer
me eyes.
and oh crap. What's the C? Um ah Compliant. That's what it is. Compliant. Which I kind of didn't like because I like to, go against the grain. Like,
Being
I don't want to be
non-compliant.
compliant. No way. No.
I'm the
But
opposite of compliant.
there it is. Okay,
So you
so
compliant.
yeah, so DISC is dominant, influencing, steady, and correct or compliant. So
Correct.
I
I'm
no,
right.
I'm okay to be correct.
I'm right.
Um,
I'm right.
that's right. So an assessor is very at home with strangers since they can evaluate the relationship and adapt accordingly. I can develop new relationships easily when desired and usually controls, I love this, ready, Brad, usually controls the extent that antagonistic behavior occurs intentionally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I love that. Um, I display a caring and friendly attitude while still being able to focus on accomplishing the tasks at hand. Assessors tend to be perfectionistic perfectionistic in nature, and will become isolated if necessary to get the job done. As an assessor, I prefer to be in an environment where I can be expressive with my thoughts and emotions, yet also have some control over what is happening. Oftentimes, the assessor style is very artistic because of the unique blend of individual expressionism and the ability to formulate a plan to create something tangible from this expression. Like that's so me, dude. I mean, right there. I'm very quality oriented and will work very hard to get the job done right. Um, Assessors want people to approve of the quote unquote job well done when they have it completed, since their need for social recognition is high. I mean, I was really impressed with the disc readout rather than the Enneagram, but um, yeah. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, Brad, with the personalities or Enneagram?
So, no, not other than the fact that I do think you're probably pretty diplomatic and poised. I mean, to me, that those words are like mean fancy.
Yeah, don't
So
worry
I
about
was
their
like, yeah, that's
definitions. Yeah,
DJ.
they just sound fancy. Yeah, that must be
Yeah,
DJ.
my brain goes, okay, he's fancy and fancy,
He's fancy.
fancy with other people, fancy by himself. Yeah, yeah, diplomatic and poised. Yeah, I go with that.
So if I pull that back up and then take your approach to it, let me read Enneagram Type 3 in brief again. Threes are self-assured, attractive, and charming. Fancy, competent, and energetic. They can also be fancy and highly driven for fancy. They are fancy, but can also be overly concerned with their image and what other things
They can be overly concerned with fancy, with how fancy they
they
are or aren't.
typically have problems with fancy at their best. Fancy.
Is this pizza? This is not fancy.
This is not fancy. That's the
I
worst
was
idea.
expecting
That's
fancy.
the worst idea.
That's why you don't put me in
20-year
charge.
high school reunion.
That's why you
Like,
don't put me in charge.
let's go over to somebody's house and
Oh,
have
no.
pizza. What are
No,
you
no.
talking
Like you put
about?
me in charge, we're gonna have school pizza. Like, man, I work really hard with the school system, so we can really go back. I even got the trays.
Do you have the milk pouches, like the plastic ones that you had to stab with a straw?
We had the little cartons where you had to kind of like open it, this little box, you know.
Yeah. No, I remember for several years we had I mean, this is going to sound really weird, but I can't think of another word for it. We basically had a milk bladder. It was a square double-sided piece of plastic that, I mean, thin plastic that, you know, that was it would move with the milk.
Listen, that sounds a little too fancy and advanced for my Eastern Kentucky.
No, dude, it is so ghetto. It is like it's so like
I
can see dogs. I can see dogs
like
like
covered in wax or something, so they stayed waterproof. You know,
yeah, like come on, people, listeners, as usual. Thank you for like being okay, listening to Brad and I just again banter. But we do love that you love our show. We really do. It is our privilege to do this. Sorry for the break, but we are back at it now that school starts. Students at Union University in Jackson, we start classes on Tuesday. And so I'll be back at it. I know Brad's family is back at it tomorrow. So we will be back on our regular scheduled programming starting this upcoming week.
DJ's gonna make sure we get some more views by telling all his students.
I am, dude. Yes, I am.
Extra credit if you listen to all the episodes
and
give us your favorite part.
That's right. I guarantee you to graduate with a 4.0 if you listen to my podcast.
On Brad, like a 4.0 from the Men Church Stuff podcast.
Yeah,
asterisk,
that's right. Yeah.
Not from your university.
Not from the university. No, I might get fired for that.
But for us, we give you a 4.0. Boom.
That's right.
It's worth nothing. It's worth nothing.
It's so worth nothing. Well, I'll give you a 5.0, you know. So
you listen to every episode, we're gonna give you an 8.0.
An 8.0. No, what is that?
Boom.
What is that like?
Two 4.0s.
That's a what is that? Like a magna cum laude?
Yeah.
Cum laude?
Yeah, we'll make it up.
Yeah, we'll make it up.
We'll make up some Latinish words.
That's right. So, listeners, share the show. Let people know about the show. And if you choose to let Brad and I know if it is impactful to you, I can assure you we will take your comments at like very sincerely, certainly not boast about it, but Brad and I love doing this, and Brad, this has been a breath of fresh air for me, man.
Yeah, I've missed it for sure.
I have too. So, yeah, beyond that, Brad, love you, buddy.
I love you too. See you guys next time.
Listeners, we will catch you next time.